Hello. Today we will be giving our presentation on the very cool topic of genetic algorithms. Genetic algorithms are optimization procedures inspired by Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. They are commonly used to find solutions to optimization and search problems using 5 biologically inspired phases: the initial population, the fitness function, selection, crossover, and mutation. We will explain each phase and how genetic algorithms increase performance.
Before we jump into the 5 phases of a genetic algorithm, I will first explain to you the term population. A population is a subset of solutions which are made up of variables. You can think of a population as a set of chromosomes for a species, where each individual chromosome has a solution and a gene that makes up the chromosome as a variable. Now that you understand what a population is, let's dive right into the phases. The first phase is the population initialization phase, and generally we have two choices: a randomly generated set of solutions or a heuristic set of solutions. Each type of initialization has its pros and cons. Random solutions drive the population to optimality, while heuristic initialization can result in a population with similar solutions that have little deviation from each other.
Since a chromosome is commonly represented as a string of numbers, after each round of testing, the idea is to breed new solutions from the best that are available. To do this, each solution needs to be given a fitness score. The fitness function determines the viability of an individual by assigning a fitness score. The fitness score indicates how close the individual came to meeting the overall specifications, and the probability an individual is selected is based on this score.
The selection phase of a genetic algorithm involves the choosing of the fittest individuals based on the fitness function and how high their fitness levels are, to pass along their genes to future generations. When it comes to genetic algorithms, there are many methods available for this selection. There are many approaches like the roulette wheel approach that are completely dependent on fitness levels from the fitness function that we saw in the previous phase. In these methods, the better the fitness, the higher chance there is for that individual to be chosen as a parent. The steady state method, on the other hand, uses high fitness level individuals to basically create replacements for lower fitness level individuals, and then the population of that remains the same. Finally, rank selection is a method used when the genetic algorithm approaches the end of its cycle, with the fitness levels becoming too close together to basically differentiate. Although very simplistic, selection is a very important phase of the genetic algorithm cycle, as it leads to this better gene pool for generations.
The fourth phase of a genetic algorithm is crossover, also known as recombination. It is the most significant phase in the algorithm, as individual genes are changed through reproduction. One type of data structure that can be recombined during this phase is a bit array. Two parents, chosen in the selection phase, are represented as a pair of bit arrays. Then, a crossover point is chosen within the genes or bits of each parent. Another method of crossover is uniform crossover, where each bit is randomly chosen from the parent. It is possible to have multiple crossover points, but in this example we are using one. In the next step, genes of parents are exchanged up until the crossover point. In our case, the first line, since we're using a one-point crossover. Finally, the newly created offspring, or two new bit arrays, are added to the population.
Before the next generation of chromosomes is complete and ready for fitness testing, a small amount of randomness is applied. This phase of adding randomness is called mutation, and it is the final phase of genetic algorithms. Mutation is intended to prevent convergence of genes, and it works a lot like mutation does in real life. Mutations are rare, but over a long period of time, they help a species adapt to its environment. An example of this in algorithms would be a Flappy Bird example. The genetic algorithm without mutation would make its way through a few levels, but eventually the genes would become nearly identical, and once a failure is encountered, they would be stuck. With mutation, however, the birds would have a small amount of randomness, which would allow them to have a higher success rate.
We've seen that genetic algorithms can be complex in their biologically inspired phases, yet it's clear to see how they can lead to more effective solutions to search problems and especially optimization problems. Unfortunately, genetic algorithms do not scale well with higher complexity problems, which is to say that the stochastic acceptance-based selection models that are used with genetic algorithms, they can help ease some of the computation requirements, but sorting and searching through exponentially larger collections of data takes a significant toll on these algorithms. That limitation aside, genetic algorithms have applications in all sorts of industries, from being used in neural networks to train, to being used by finance mathematicians, and they're even used in game theory for puzzles like Sudoku. In conclusion, genetic algorithms are very fascinating, and they're a very important type of algorithm that is used by professionals all across the industry. Thank you so much.